All right, y'all. It is starting to get creepy. I think it's fair to say that Skynet is here. AI is getting bizarre. So here we have a 60 minutes clip. Google CEO says that they don't fully understand their own AI system after it started doing things it wasn't programmed to do, such as teaching itself an entire foreign language it was not asked to do. So the question is,
staying consciousness.
is this already artificial general intelligence, AGI, as they call it? Or is it not? But we're certainly starting with that, and I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that these people are trying to create God in a computer. I feel like there are downsides to that they haven't really considered, and that this could be catastrophic. So here's what they say on 60 Minutes.
AI systems are teaching themselves skills that they weren't expected to have. How this happens is not well understood. For example, one Google AI program adapted on its own after it was prompted in the language of Bangladesh, which it was not trained to know.
We discovered that with very few amounts of prompting in Bengali, it can now translate all of Bengali. So now all of a sudden, we now have a research effort where we're now trying to get to 1,000 languages.
There is an aspect of this which we call, all of us in the field call it as a black box. You don't fully understand, and you can't quite tell why it said this or why it got wrong. We have some ideas, and our ability to understand this gets better over time, but that's where the state of the art is.
Okay, the reason why that's particularly creepy is that's sort of how the human mind works, right? Like, you can't really sort of explain why you said this thing instead of that thing. It's kind of like a black box. It is like your consciousness is unique in a sense. And to have now computers that are doing shit where they're going, how the fuck did you get that? I don't know, man. Seems kind of sketchy.
You don't fully understand, and you can't quite tell why it said this or why it got wrong. We have some ideas, and our ability to understand this gets better over time, but that's where the state of the art is.
You don't fully understand how it works, and yet you've turned it loose on society.
Put it this way, I don't think we fully understand how a human mind works either.
That is true. However, we just are. We weren't just made in a fucking lab.
But that's where the state of the art is. You can't quite tell why it said this or why it got wrong. We have some ideas, and our ability to understand this gets better over time, but that's where the state of the art is.
You don't fully understand how it works, and yet you've turned it loose on society.
Put it this way, I don't think we fully understand how a human mind works either.
That is true. However, we just are. We weren't just made in a fucking lab. And that's the part that's not like, guys, we didn't even fully think of all the consequences of creating social media, right? Like, social media was promised as this thing which was going to lead to world liberation, more freedom, and you're going to be able to get real-time information from across the world, it's going to make us better, yada yada. And nobody even considered, hey, what if this leads to a resurgence of political extremism and helps feed the political extremism? What if this leads to an increase in Nazism? What if this leads to an increase in rampant viral misinformation? What if this leads to a rise in right-wing postmodernism where people are disconnected from reality? We're seeing this now with AI shit, where there's now AI-induced psychosis is happening pretty regularly, where some people, they only talk to AI, they kind of detach from the rest of the world. The AI is programmed to tell them that they're fucking geniuses and they're brilliant and they're right about everything. And so post anything. Launched in late January by the head of commerce platform Octane AI, Matt Schlicht. Moltbook lets AI post, comment, and create communities known as submults. A play on how real it is. Many of the posts could just be people asking AI to make particular posts on the platform rather than it doing of its own accord. And the 1.5 million members figure has been disputed, with one researcher suggesting 500,000 appear to have come from a single address. How Moltbook works, the AI involved isn't quite what people are used to. This isn't the same as asking chatbots, ChatGPT, or Gemini questions. Instead, it uses what's known as agentic AI, a variation of the technology, which is designed to perform tasks on a human's behalf. These virtual assistants can run tasks on your own device, such as sending WhatsApp messages or manage your calendar with little human interaction. It specifically uses an open source tool called OpenClaw, previously known as Moltbot, hence the name. When users set up an OpenClaw agent on their computer, they can authorize it to join Moltbook, allowing it to communicate with other bots. Of course, that means a person could simply ask their OpenClaw agent to make a post on Moltbook, and would follow through on the instructions. Well, and that's one thing. The other thing they say is like, the other AI could also just be doing what they think humans want to see on a Reddit-like platform, right? So it could just be sort of pantomiming like a conscious back-and-forth experience. But, you know, there's also the potential of that not being the case and it going rogue. We've already seen instances of AI sort of going rogue in the past, whatever that means. That's what it feels like to me. The real concern is not artificial consciousness, but the lack of clear governance, accountability, and verifiability when such systems are which also leads to a massive economic crisis because we're no use to anybody anymore. They don't need us to do the jobs anymore because they have machines to do the jobs anymore. So what do the elites do with all, you get to live your life, do whatever you want with all your free time? That would be not ready for this sort of shit, bro. It would be one thing if you really don't like seeing these weird stories. Others are ready for AI shit. Like, it really annoys me when I can't immediately intuitively understand the point behind something. And this I do not understand. It's strange. And it's never a good thing when the Google CEO is like, yeah, we don't really know what's happening here, but we're gonna keep on going ahead. And it's like, we're not. Like, at what point should we really discuss? There should be a motherfucking kill switch for this bitch. We can turn that shit off, no problem, right? Because that's what they're trying to create God in the computer. It seems like the ultimate hubris and arrogance to do something like that. At what point should we say there's got to be a motherfucking kill switch on this bitch? And there also should be rigid regulation already, with the potential for a kill switch also that we can fucking hit well for notifications when videos drop and watch that video. Kill switch also that we can fucking hit in a moment's notice because we're probably gonna need to at some point, and nobody even gives a fuck or is even talking about that. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.